Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I audible? If someone can just type in a yes in the chat box if you're being able to hear me. Great, great. Okay, and also if you're being able to see my screen. Great. All right. So thank you for your patience and thanks for waiting for some time. So what I'll do is I'll in the next 1 hour, I'll not take 1 hour, maybe in the next half an hour, 45 minutes. What I'll do is I'll quickly take you through concepts of mental health. It's something that a lot of us know about. Even while we know a lot about it, some of us really feel hesitant to speak about it. So we'll try and discuss different aspects of mental health, how it's as important as physical health, and how is it that we can reach out for help whenever needed. So I'm Pallavi. I am part of Silver Oak Health Group. So just to give you a little background about Silver Oak Health, we are in the space of mental health. We work with different organizations, to provide mental health support, to assist employees with, different mental health support, emotional well-being, and so on. So I'll just, take another half an hour, 45 minutes of yours and take you through different aspects of mental health and its importance. What I'll request during the session is if I may, ask some questions, please do respond on the chat box. We are quite a few here. We may not be able to unmute our mics and talk, but then please do respond, on the chat box here. And if there are any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have in this aspect. Okay. So, yeah. So I would like to begin with a question as to what is mental health to you? If any of you can, type in the answer as to what do you understand by the term mental health and what is mental health to you? Peaceful, great, of course. Thanks, Sapna. Anyone else? What do you understand by mental health? No tension or fears. Okay, great. It can be anything. So there's nothing wrong or nothing right. Being happy, calm, very, very good. Healthy thoughts, absolutely, absolutely. Right. So a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being, very, very correct and absolutely to the point. It's very, the scientific definition. Understanding our own self, absolutely. Sure. So mental health, emotional well-being, no stress, certainly. So mental health is a, umbrella term. Like you can see, for a lot of people, mental health would mean different things. And everything, everything that you people mentioned here, everything falls under mental health. So mental health definitely is not something that you can really, pinpoint and say, this is mental health. That, or just this bit is mental health. Mental health probably comprises of a lot of things. Hi Rai, I see you.
Yeah. In fact, I was struggling to get in.
Okay, okay.
So are you halfway through, or you can tell me when you have a logical break so that I can put in a word or two?
You can please, we've just begun, so you can please, go ahead and then we can continue.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, this seems to be a little, complicated for me to get in because, I was trying to get in through a Mac. Anyways, very good afternoon to all of you. I'm not very sure about how many people are there on WebEx and how many are there in audio and the YouTube. I came to know that there are a few hundreds in YouTube and probably a few hundreds here. Anyways, see, we are a society which has a lot of counselors around us, be it our relatives, be it our neighbors, be it our friends and teachers, and a lot of them never hesitate to give us an advice or give us an option. But the problem is that when there are professional counselors and professional people who are trained and qualified in doing what they're doing are available, why should we fall prey to the advisors and suggestions of people those who are not qualified to do that? And off late, WhatsApp and Facebook are the major tutors. They teach a lot of things without even understanding who is teaching you. So, CDAC, from its perspective, especially when we came through this pandemic, also uh, uh, decided that there exists a serious need of our people given an opportunity to consult professionally qualified people for their problems. There is also a myth or a stigma that talking to a counselor is to be done by people those who are mentally sick, which is absolutely absurd. When you're mentally sick, you go to a psychiatrist and you get treatment. The other one is where you have confusions, when you have stress, when you are in dilemma, when you are not able to decide on something, when you're threatened, when you're scared or fearing of something. That is when you would like to have professional help from counselors. Pallavi is going to talk about, what is professional counseling, when is it required, how is it required, and why it is required and why it is to be taken from professional hands only. See, when we have a headache or when we have a health related issue, we don't go to a friend. We probably go to a doctor. Similarly, when we have a confusion, when we have a mental issue, not mental sickness per se, mental issue in the sense, you're not able to decide or something, we should be consulting people, those who are professionally qualified to assist such situation. Now, in here, there are twofold advantages. Number one is we have the agency whom we are talking with, which is Silver Oak, has consultants, in the sense counselors, professionally qualified counselors across the country, and they are all easily accessible through an app which we will be sending across to all of you, and once we engage with them, and that app can be used, and 100% confidentiality and non-judgmental approach is being guaranteed for two reasons. Number one, nothing is getting we did have our due diligence, and it has been understood that nothing is getting recorded anywhere. And they have both online and offline option. At this point of time, we can only go for online because offline options are not available as a norm in most of the cities. They have also agreed that once we have a consultant or a counselor for a particular issue, that counselor will be made available to a particular employee or his family members for that issue. So, Pallavi, I'm handing it over here to you. You can probably try and see which are the times when one should actually try out for professional help and assistance and support, and why it is required. All right. I'm sure there are questions or answers coming up, which probably can be taken at the end. Pallavi will be answering those, or we can take it offline. We at Corporate HRD is available for any operational support and help. Rest, we will be issuing a README or something like that, which carries all the guidelines. And once we are in, we also have something called a roping in process. So see you all there also. All the best, and please pay keen attention onto this stuff and keep your mind open, perceive it and conceive it with an open mind, which will help us in living better life. Happiness is what we are targeting. Thank you very much for being in here, and all the very best. Pallavi, I'm done. It's over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Rai. You've actually, made it easy. You've already covered a lot of things here. So yeah, I'll continue from there. So yes, I saw a lot of answers coming in terms of, what's mental health to each one of us. And I think we've got very valid answers from, different people who've mentioned as to what mental health is to them. So, just like our physical health, what Rai just mentioned, just like physical health, mental health is as important as, our physical health. But how much or how many times, do we actually pay heed to the mental health aspect? Can any one of you, think of a, time when you've actually, if I have to tell you that in last couple of months, how many times have you called into a doctor to, talk about your physical health? It could be a headache, it could be, some discomfort that you might have been going through. You would have, spoken to a doctor so many times, but if I have to ask you as to how many times have you actually spoken to someone for your mental health, you would really need to think about it and tell me. It sometimes, yeah, we do speak to our friends, we do speak to, people in our family, but when it comes to taking professional help, in probably if anyone would like to volunteer and say in the last 6 months or say in a year, has there been any number of times that you've really taken professional help for your mental health issues? Anybody would like to answer that? Has anybody? Never. Right, right. That's not something that is just coming from this team, but we often do these with different organizations, and it's always no is always an answer, because we don't. It's because we are structured, even as a society, we are structured in such a way, we have been brought up in such a way that we automatically, we are wired and we are tuned not to pay attention to our mental health. Even for example, when you are taking a day off, it's always here, I'm sure there are so many participants here, there'll be people managers, there'll be team leads, there are people who are managing people, as well as general employees who are individual contributors. Has it ever been that a colleague is coming up to you and saying that I'm not mentally feeling well and hence I need a day off? It will never be. We always take off when we are physically not well, because mental health has never got that importance, and we always it's we always kind of try to stigmatize it. We are always hesitant about talking about it, and thus it always goes below the surface. So it is not something, because mental health of course is not something that can be seen. Physical health, of course, you have a back pain, you have a back pain, but when it comes to mental health, half of the times you don't even realize it. And when you at all, if you realize it, you are hesitant, because you feel, think of factors like what's the society going to think about me, what's my family members going to think about me. People may say that I'm just overdoing it, overreacting to a situation. So there are a lot of things that keep popping up in our mind, even if we think of talking about mental health. So it's seen that 1 out of 4 people in India itself, go through different mental health problems. It's important that we, as soon as we realize that there's something wrong and it needs attention, it's important that we reach out to someone, reach out for a professional help. Like I said, our body, just the way, our physical health is important, our mental health is also important, and it is very, very important for us to talk about it. So it's seen that 46% of the workforce in organizations in India suffers from depression or from anxiety disorders. I'm sure even the leaders or the managers will not know that their, team members would be going through something like this. And even if they know, they are not equipped enough to do much about it. Now, what would a manager do? They have their own set of deadlines. A lot of times, managers have asked me uh, if, for example, my team member is going through this kind of an issue, what is it that I am supposed to do? I have my deadlines. My boss will not listen to the fact that, your team member is going through a mental health issue. How much time should I give the person? So these are very, very unclear, concerns, very pertinent concerns, but very unclear concerns, because there is nobody to answer these questions. There is, you don't know who's the right person to reach to. You don't know, what to do, because we are not like, we are taught, so many things are taught to us from school, but mental health is something that is not taught. We have never had a subject called mental health while growing up. We've never known how to empathize with people. We've not known what are the symptoms like. So it's very, very unclear for people. So that's the reason, like I said, it's very important that you reach out to someone who comes with that background, who is professional, who will be able to give you a professional support. A lot of times, even friends say, I have been doing his or her counseling. Why does she need to go to a counselor? But what's the counseling like when it comes with friends? Hey, don't think about it so much. It's okay. But nobody tells you as to how not to think about it. You're going through a depression. Of course, you will be thinking about it. People will come and tell you, don't think about it. But how is it that you don't think about it? So these questions will all, like, these are very relatable examples. I'm sure, even we give these kind of suggestions, or even, you go to your manager, you say, hey, I was not feeling well yesterday and I just couldn't do it. So, it will be 1 day, 2 days, the third day, it will be like, okay, how much more time do you think you'll take? You're just exaggerating, you're just overdoing it. So these are kind of responses that we get. It's, and if this is something that continues as an economic loss, it's, it's told that about $1.3 trillion will be lost from mental health conditions between 2012 and 2030. So which is like a, quite a bit of a huge alarming loss if that is to be true. No clarity is there about mental health problems. Absolutely, symptoms are not clearly defined. Absolutely, that's the reason, because we are not really taught from childhood. And even as parents, why only managers and why only a workplace setup? Even as parents, how many times do we actually talk about mental health within the family? How many times have we actually tried, if it's a physical problem, even the children know that, okay, there's a cut, I have to put a band-aid. But if, I'm not feeling good today, I wake up very gloomy, I feel, I'm getting very, very anxious about certain things. What is it that I do? We don't equip our children to, take care of their mental health as well, because that's something that we have not grown up with. And, even if a child comes, I remember, even I trying to convey a lot of things as a child to my parents or my family, which probably they never understood, because they didn't have it's not that they didn't care or they didn't want to, but they didn't know, or they didn't feel the importance of the need. And I'm sure this is something that is there within all households, even if we realize and we don't realize. So we generally say as to these are stressed, as Dai was also saying, and that's the reason why the HR team really wants to do something, or some reasons that are pointed out here. But according to you, if you could tell me as to why do you think employees are stressed? Because this is like, of course, a general, pointer that I'll be sharing with you, but I'm sure there'll be, very specific reasons to each one of us as to why we feel employees are stressed, or why do you feel you are stressed? There's so much that's happening around. So if you could just, tell me, if whoever is comfortable, just to type in and say, why do you think you are stressed, or why do you think people around are stressed? Heavy workload, absolutely. Anything else? Looks like the workload that's causing the stress. Anything else? Personal mental stigma, absolutely. Very, very right. Slowdown in business due to COVID. Lifestyle, unpleasant working environment. Others don't understand the situation. So true. no contact with society. That is definitely a very, very pertinent point at this point of time. Expectations, lack of recognition, higher expectations, fear of COVID, definitely creating a lot of anxiety amongst people. Problems in relationship, certainly. Not a favorite subject. Okay. Uncertainty due to COVID, fear of not being able to deliver, suffering in family, right? Sure. So if you see, there are not using proper language, okay, making time available for both office and family, right? Right. So if you see, I think, really grateful for these kind of answers because it's not really easy to, come up with these answers and also talk to someone who is not known to you. But thank you for sharing. Uh, So yeah, like I can see, and like everybody's mentioned, there are few reasons why people are being stressed. One, definitely the ongoing pandemic has created a lot of chaos. There's a lot of grief that people are going through. As a nation, we are going through a lot of grief. And nobody, can say that, hey, I'm doing great, even while the country is going through this kind of a pandemic, I'm doing great. It doesn't happen. That is something constant that everybody is going through. People are going through, different anxieties. People are, their family members could have been affected. People have lost close ones. People have this constant fear of, am I the next one? Is my family going to be affected? So there's a lot that people are going through, and it definitely, the way it is affecting people physically, it is also, affecting us mentally. So definitely that is something that people are going through. Now, other things that have come up, one is, working from home, staying at home. Some people are isolated, some people are having to take care of, family, there are dependents, there are parents, there can be children at home while, someone is having to work as well as take care of the family. So there's a lot of chaos. What happens is, earlier what used to happen, I think when the pandemic began last year, when people started working from home, it was like a fresh welcome for a lot of people. Okay, we'll get to spend more time at home. But I think slowly what has happened, people have gotten into this, series of fatigue where people are not being able to deal with it anymore. Our brain, or we as human beings, we are structured in such a way that we need time for transition. Earlier what used to happen, we used to get ready, go to work. There used to be that time gap in between where we used to get ready mentally to go to work, and even while coming back we used to be ready to come back to our household work and to spend time with family. But now the transition doesn't take place at all. So it's, you're just working out of your, uh, say, your drawing room or your study, and then, it's just in the other room that your family is there. So there's no, transition time. So there is no, our brain doesn't really work in the switch on, switch off mode. It needs time to, transit from one situation to another, which we are not getting. Hence, there's a lot of fatigue amongst people, and people are not really being able to manage this work from home because, mostly all the counseling cases, a lot of, our counseling cases these days are around, one definitely is the COVID anxiety. People are really, really anxious about, what's happening. And number two is people are not being able to deal with the work from home, setup any longer. And, they don't know how to manage work and home. Lack of stress busters, uh, lack of stress busters, or how to handle the situation when starting to feel stress. It just grows. Yes, it does grows. Right. Exactly. No transition makes it very difficult to switch your mind. Absolutely. Right. And you will see, because we were working from office, there was like a start time, there was an end time. But I think someone mentioned heavy workload. Now there is no start time, there is no end time. You're cooking while you're working, working again, you're just, managing your food, doing some cleaning, working again. So there is no structure. Even though we've tried to make our own little routines, but at times, it just, even for me, it gets really difficult to actually maintain that routine. There's always an overlap between one with the other. So there is no transition, there is no, specific gaps that we are getting. So definitely that's a cause of, stress. Unrealistic job expectations, of course, has been a reason. There are times when, we cannot say no, and there is, that's the reason it's very important for people to learn to say no. You need to set your own boundaries. You need to, know how much is your capability and set expectations accordingly. That's not something that can happen overnight, but it will happen over practice. Lack of recognition, lack of opportunities are other reasons that really, affect us mentally. Stress increases if your spouse is working from home and you are going to office, then there is a lot of fear in the family for the infection. Absolutely. There is, of course, COVID anxiety has, really taken over a lot of other things. So people are, every time that they have to step out for any little thing, be it for, your office, be it for going to the market, there is a lot of stress. And so yeah, that's something that we are talking about. Like, how do we actually manage that stress? What do we do to manage that stress? For some time, it's very easy to say, let's maintain a positive outlook, but how is it that we do it? So if required, that's when, it's important that you talk to a professional psychologist who will help you, in these times to remain calm, to deal with anxiety. Compensation, lack of security of job. A lot of people over the last year, have lost jobs, and even seeing that, creates a lot of anxiety. What if the business doesn't go well? What if I'm having to let go of? How will my family run? I have parents to take care of. I have children who are dependent. So there's a lot of these stressors. And another addition now is the social media and the news, because you open social media, you open news channels, all that you can see is what the country is going through: deaths, the oxygen crisis, what a massacre each of the states are in. And it really, really pulls you down, and it gets into such a state where it gets difficult for people to come out, and it makes people more and more anxious. So what we suggest is, try and limit your screen timings during the day. Try and take screen breaks where, say for half an hour in the morning, you don't touch your phone or your laptop, or sometime in the evening. It's very important to take those breaks off the screen. And because otherwise, you get up, you don't even get up from your bed, and you have the phone on your hand, and you see, what happened the previous day, how many new cases, how many deaths. It just takes a very, very bad toll on your mental health. So these are certain reasons why people are going through a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. Okay. Now, like I mentioned, I think we also discussed this before. Why do you think, less people are addressing mental health issues? The reason is, there's always, like I said, we are tuned and we are structured in such a way that we don't really dive deep into how exactly we are feeling. It is always at the surface. There's a saying, like, someone will come, will ask you, how are you? And the automatic, even, we teach our children the same thing. If someone asks you, how are you? The answer should be, I'm good, thank you, how are you? But do we actually, even if the person who is asking you, that person also doesn't have the time to actually listen to how you are or how are you feeling? Or, the person who's answering also doesn't have the time or doesn't know that, this you really need to reflect and dive deep into how are you feeling before you answer. So that's something that really is the reason, because we don't really dive deep into how we are feeling. It's mostly the physical well-being that we talk about. How are you? I'm good. Or it's just as a practice. That's like the response that we are supposed to give. That's the reason we give that response. I think someone asked me to turn on my video. Just let me know if you're being able to see me. Yeah. So the problem still, lies in terms of we do not give mental health as much as importance as we give to physical health. There is a lot of social stigma, like Rai also mentioned. People feel that, if someone is, reaching out to a counselor, if someone has to talk to a counselor, means that, you are mad. There are people, who feel that way. And it's not only, of course, there's one segment of the society who doesn't have that much exposure, but there are people who have actually, studied mental health. Even they would say, there are people who will say that, why do you need to talk to a counselor? Everything is all right. Why do you need to speak to someone? This is such a, trivial issue, and it will just get over. You just need time. Time is the best healer. There are a lot of philosophies that, people will share, but people will not really address the, major issue, because people are not equipped enough to do it. So it's important that we destigmatize mental health, that we understand and we realize how mental health is important, and how, if we don't address these mental health issues, what toll it can take on us, on the society, within our family. A lot of times, people also do not, accept that they have some problem, because they feel mental health issue is only for the, weaker section, weaker people. I think the man of the house, how can I go through a mental health problem? That's not something. Or men don't cry. All these things are there, around the society, and it's very, very deep rooted within us. So no matter how much, we try, it gets difficult, and it is difficult. It is not that, today I talk about mental health, tomorrow it will be very easy for everybody to, just go and talk about mental health, because we are tuned in such a way, it will take time. But with collective consciousness, with conscious efforts, I think we will be able to destigmatize mental health. Soon, small steps like making mental health conversations, open within the family, within team members, having those frequent catch ups when you actually address mental health issues. Now we call people, we ask about physical health. Okay, all that we are concerned about is, okay, you're all right, okay, just stay home. But while people are staying home, have we ever tried asking someone else, how is this person coping? How, if the person is isolated, what is the mental state that this person is going through? So it's important that we, consider those aspects as well. And for, people who are the bread earners, who are the man of the house, it's very important for them to realize as well that even they can go through mental health concerns. And mental health concerns doesn't really have to be something very serious, where it has got nothing to do with going into an asylum, or taking those medicines, medical help. Even if medical help is needed, that is also all right. But what we are trying to talk about here is just those counseling, where, while there is so much of negativity around, while, we are all having our own struggles, it's important that we, dive a little deep down to how we are feeling. And definitely there will be issues that, those unsolved issues which needs to be addressed. Just reaching out to someone will help you. You will probably not even, I'm sure a lot of people here, they've not had a counseling experience before. For them, there'll be a lot of questions as to what is counseling. It's even good just as just as an experience, if you just go and, take up a counseling session and see how it helps. If nothing else, you'll at least, get to vent out a lot of things. Counseling also helps you, because These days, people are so busy. Family is staying together, partners are staying together. How much do you talk after a certain point of time? Even if there are things you neither have the capability to share, neither the other person has the capability to listen. So here, if nothing else, at least the counselor will listen to you. They are trained to listen to people. So they'll at least listen to you without any judgment. They are trained to be non-judgmental. And of course, everything will remain confidential. So anything and everything that you share with the counselor in the counseling process, nothing comes back to the company, or nothing is shared back with the organization or with anybody outside. So this is a space, this is a confidential, emotionally safe space that your company is giving you. So, it's important that you make use of it, and just for the sake of an experience, just experience it. So, yes, if there are any questions so far, you can, type in as well, or I can take it at the end as well. And one last thing is, remember, no matter what, fear, what uncertainty, or all these anxieties that each one of us are going through at this point of time, it's honestly not something that you're going through alone. We are, all doing it together, or, for you, there might be, some problems that you are going through, which probably I am not going through. And for me, there might be certain things that I am going through, which probably you are not going through. But there's nothing like, I am in this alone. All of us are in this together, and you're not alone. So, it's not something, if tomorrow you have to reach out to a counselor, you're not the only person reaching out to a counselor. So there's nothing to feel bad about it. That's why our company is running, right? So if there were nobody reaching out to us, we wouldn't have been running. So there are people who take help, there are people who are taking help, and a lot of people have benefited from the entire program. So yeah, so just, whenever this starts for you, I would request everybody to just give it a shot. Probably things that we've not done since childhood, it's time that, we do it, and, also help our children. At least if our generation has not been able to normalize mental health, at least for our next generation, so that they can talk about mental health openly and they don't have that stigma. So that's something that we can do for ourselves and the society. So yeah, now I'll just quickly talk about how do we, understand different mental health symptoms. So, one, of course, we've discussed anxiety, anxious, there's always these apprehensions about what might happen, what is going to happen next, is it going to happen to me? So feeling worried or anxious, sudden emotional outbursts. There are a lot of times when you'll see often that, either you're breaking down in office, or you are, having a fight with your partner, or you're having a fight with your parents. So sudden emotional outbursts, which often we, mask it saying that, it's okay, it's natural, it happens. Sometimes, we also blame our hormones for it, it's just hormonal. But, there could be underlying issues. So if you see that these things are happening very frequently, it should, ring a bell. Then sudden changes in weight, sudden appetite changes. For example, I feel very hungry under, stressful situations. For some people, they don't feel hungry at all. It just kills their appetite. So it might be different, but anything unusual needs to be, checked. That feeling of fatigueness, I don't know if any of you would have experienced, is counseling just about listening to the problems, feelings, emotional outbursts, or of course, getting some positive, suggestions? What the counselor will do is the counselor will work with you to help you achieve your, personal goals. So, and you can talk to the counselor about any issue. It could be, work-related issues, those, problems that we discussed. It could be your personal-related issues. It could be just, the fact that for past, few days, I'm just not feeling well. I don't have that energy, or that motivation the way I used to. So the counselor will work with you to help you overcome these problems, will help you find solutions for yourself. So that's what the counselor does. I mentioned about the listening bit. because a lot of times people don't, like I said, people don't realize that, there are problems. Even if that is the case, at least the counselor will listen to you. You can just have a chat with the counselor. Even if there is nothing, there could be, quick things that might come up. And then the entire journey, the entire counseling journey, the reason we call it therapy is it is very, very therapeutic in nature. So just for you to experience once, I would, really encourage and recommend all of you to take it up. And if this is something that your company is doing for you, it's important that you, really make use of it. What I was saying is, in terms of fatigue, there are times when you wake up in the morning and, there is just no energy. You wake up very tired. Throughout the day, you feel extremely tired. You don't have the motivation to do anything. Those are times we often, if we kind of again mask it. We are like, okay, we are bored. We are at home. We just need to get back to work. If once or twice, I'm not saying, one day it happens, you immediately call a counselor. You can if you want, but if you see something of that sort is happening on a regular basis, please do call a counselor. And sleep problems, that's like one of the most neglected problems, but majority of our generation goes through it because of the workload, because of the kind of work that we do throughout the day. We all go through those sleep problems, and now with the COVID anxiety, it has reached its heights. So if you see that you're having disturbed sleep, you're waking up in the middle of the night all anxious, or you're not being able to sleep, please do call a counselor. And of course, there are times when we feel very, very withdrawn. We don't like talking to people. Guests are there. We don't feel like speaking to guests. Now all of that option is also not there. I think more people are more withdrawn because they are not being able to be social. But in case you find these kind of symptoms, you see that this is something that I don't not feeling like talking to anybody. I wasn't like this. It's suddenly that I'm feeling this way. Please reach out to a counselor. So, and substance abuse, of course, if suddenly people have suddenly increased their drinking habits. Previously, it was occasional. Now, suddenly, they're not being able to, sleep without a drink, or suddenly people have started smoking a lot. These are also trigger, alarms that you should make note of and reach out to a counselor. Now, symptoms of stress, there are, physical, psychological, cognitive, and behavioral symptoms. Sometimes, there are a lot of physical symptoms of stress, which we at times don't understand. I'm not sure if any one of you have experienced a lot of times, if you're going through a lot of stress, there's an immense pain at the back of the neck. We often think it's just a muscular pull, or we apply some balm or something and we are done with it. But the underlying reason behind it is stress, which is too much stress being accumulated, and it really gives you a lot of pressure. Some people have a lot of abdominal pain when there is stress. These are all physical symptoms. Headache, then sudden palpitations. These are all physical symptoms which people go through. And a lot of times we just think of it as physical symptoms. We don't really look into it in terms of what could be the underlying reason behind it. But while people have gone to doctors, people have actually seen doctors for these reasons, it has come out that it's because of those unaddressed stress that's there within that's causing all these kind of physical problems. There are definitely psychological effects as well, like depression. Depression is nothing but those repeated thoughts of the past, incidents or situations that might have taken place in the past, and we are just not being able to get over it. It's those repeated thoughts, and also anxiety of those situations that have not happened, but we are really fearful of what if these situations happen. These are stress, pessimism, feelings of being overwhelmed, of being very nervous all the time, or just being very overwhelmed. These are also symptoms of stress. Cognitive effects, poor concentration. You're not being able to focus much on what you're doing. There's always your mind is always hovering into other things while you're doing something. You're not being able to focus much on work. You're unable to make decisions. So these are all symptoms of stress. And of course, behavioral effects like loss of interest, anger, aggression, social withdrawal, something that we discussed in the previous slide, interpersonal challenges where you're not being able to, have a good interpersonal relationship with anybody in the family, your friends, your spouse, anyone. So if you see that, there are these malfunctions in any of these areas, please do make a note of it and think, what could be the reason behind it. And please do take, professional help. Yeah. So like you would know, a lot of we all have our own ways of dealing with stress, for the way you deal with stress may not be the way I deal with stress. Could be, I get very affected. Maybe, the COVID news, the, infodemics has really pulled me down and I am going through a very bad time. While for you, you might be able to keep a good positive outlook and, you are dealing in a better way. But again, these, the way we deal with stress, the way we bounce back is called resilience. And resilience is not something that cannot be learned. It's not, it definitely has a lot to do with our past experience, a lot to do with our, DNA and genes. But again, that's not something that, cannot be learned at all. So we can all learn coping mechanisms, learn coping strategies, and that is something the counselors will help you do. So, again, that's something, you can't like really read a book to learn coping mechanisms. But of course, you can take up counseling sessions and build on your coping strategies and coping mechanisms. So while I have already spoken about why it is important to take professional help, it is also, as a counselor, it is also my responsibility to just give you quick tips as to, if you're feeling stressed, how do you de-stress de-stress yourself. So keeping a healthy body, you don't have to hit the gym, 1 or 2 hours a day. You can just exercise for 10 to 15 minutes a day. That will help you, it just secretes happy hormones and makes you feel better. I'm sure you would notice that after exercise, you feel better, you feel very positive. So exercise, as much as it is important for your body, it is equally important for your mind. Maintaining good hygiene, keeping, yourself clean, keeping your surrounding clean, helps you lift your mood. Exercising regularly is something that I mentioned. Healthy body also depends on, a lot of things in terms of exercising, in terms of, eating healthy. Maintaining a good routine will also help. Absolutely. It's very important to maintain that healthy routine. That's what I was saying. A lot of us, we are trying our best to, have our own routine while we are in this lockdown. But for some, for some people, they are successful. For some, people are not being able to maintain that healthy routine. But yeah, it is important to maintain that healthy routine. Getting that, peace, sleep, that peaceful sleep is very important, and ensuring that you have that 7 to 8 hours of sleep daily. Ensuring that you, turn off your screens, or you are not with your screens at least half an hour before going to bed and half an hour before waking up. That really helps you get better sleep. And avoiding alcohol as much as, possible. And how do you de-stress your mind? Talk about your feelings. You can, of course, you have your friends, you have your family, you talk to them. Other than that, you have counselors who are, trained in the field, who know how to deal with mental health issues, who know how to talk about stress, who know, what situations you might be going through, who would have a better understanding. It's important that you talk to them. Maintaining a positive outlook, yeah, of course, try and, be positive as much as possible. Stay in the present. Like I said, depression is nothing but those, uh, situations, or those thoughts about situations that have taken place in the past. And, anxiety is those apprehensions about the future. So it seems that the happiest people are the ones who are, living in the present. So how do we live in the present? There's this technique called the mindfulness. I think a lot of people have, someone has also mentioned, Nitin has mentioned that deep breathing is a very good exercise, certainly. And, mindfulness, of course, will help you, incorporate all of this and will help you remain in the present. So I'll also come to mindfulness and how that is also included, in the, as a part of the counseling and the other programs that we offer. Connect with others, though we are isolated, try and, for some people, like I stay away from my family. So I have my own set of anxieties as to, how are people there, they are in a different state. So ensuring that you're at least connected over video, or at least make that effort of making a call every single day. Even with your team members, try to check in on them, because everybody is going through their own set of struggles. Take a break, unwind. It's important, while we are having our, workload, long hours of work, it's important that we take those small breaks in between and come back. Self-compassion is something that is most neglected, but is of utmost importance, because at the end of the day, we are the ones who connect with us the most than we connect with anybody else. So it's important that you appreciate yourself for everything that you're doing. You are compassionate about yourself, you empathize with yourself. It's only then will people be able to be compassionate with you. So, use good words for yourself, just praise yourself and, just, praise yourself. Next, of course, the entire, uh, for the last few minutes, I've been saying that how it's important to reach out to a counselor, because you have someone, who's there, who's trained. So it's important that you, just take in the phone and dial into the number and reach out for a counselor. So I have given you bits of mental health and, how to identify different stress triggers and, how, when do we reach out to counselors. I will now, in the next couple of minutes, show you how to reach out to a counselor. So I told you I am from Silver Oak Health. We are into employee assistance in well-being. So we will soon be partnering with, CDAC, and then this will be an option that will be available for you and all your team members and your family members. So just, I'll show you how you can, what are the things that's covered. So we have tele-counseling, we have one-to-one sessions. These are through video. We have face-to-face as well. Maybe when situations are better, when people can move around freely and, go and meet a counselor, then you can do that. Online support via chat and email, you can do that as well. You can chat with our counselors, or, just talk to them over email. Or we have this, online program called the Online Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Program. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a very old therapy, but a very, very, well received and a very well structured therapy, which in India, this is India's only online cognitive behavioral therapy program. So we've, formulated and customized it for the Indian audience, and we have done it, into an online module, so that people can go through it by themselves and benefit from it, other than the counseling sessions, of course. Mindfulness coaching sessions are available. There's this mindfulness app I was talking about, how it helps you, remain in the present, how mindfulness as a technique can help you, be calm under stressful situations, how it can help you with your sleeping patterns, how it can help you with building healthy relationships. So mindfulness app will also be available, which you can use, and you can just practice mindfulness. And for yourself, you can see what difference it would create in your state of mind, and how, a lot of people were saying how to remain calm. These are, probably those little answers to it, and more you will get to know when, we are partnered and when we are working together to deal with these issues. Then there are these, few assessments that's there, and then there's the portal that you will get access to. So yeah, in terms of telecounseling, you can talk to someone with regards to our counselor with regards to any issues. It could be any personal related issue, any work related issue, relationship, family, issues with your partner, issues with your spouse, issues with your boyfriend, girlfriend, parents, any work related issue, issues with your manager, team member, or anything in general that you feel, like work-life balance. A lot of you mentioned how to deal with work and how to deal with personal life while we are, what are the things that we can do while we are isolated? How do we deal with this kind of of an anxiety? We are not being able to go out. How do we, we are social beings. How do we deal with this kind of a situation? Financial stress, anything that you might be going through, you can, maybe for some people it might not be, a very important issue, but if it is important to you, you feel it is important, please reach out to a counselor. The society doesn't have to approve of it. Your family doesn't have to approve of it. Nobody has to approve of it. If you feel you need to talk to someone, there's something that you're going through which needs attention, please do dial in and make that call. So the sessions are available, they are available in different languages. So our counselors speak over 12 Indian languages. So if someone wants to speak in any Indian language and is not comfortable in English or Hindi, you're more than welcome. Please do, call in and we'll get you routed to a counselor who will speak your mother tongue. And yeah, so the sessions generally for face-to-face sessions, the sessions generally take place in our offices. So you would just need to let us know as to where you are putting up or, where your office is so that we can identify the nearest place for you and you can come in and take sessions. Otherwise, for now, telephonic and video sessions are always available. Then we have the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy online program. This is an 8 weeks program, and people can just register for it. And once someone registers, he or she will automatically be assigned to a coach. So you will automatically be assigned to a coach once you register. This will talk about different aspects of, what is stress? How do you deal with stress? How do you listen to your common sense voice more than your panic voice? It just helps you, develop those coping strategies, because a lot of times, even after, everything that we discussed, a lot of people will not be very comfortable to take the call and call the counselor. So, for those, you can just go through this program for yourself. Even while going through this program, there'll be a counselor who will be, assigned to you, and you can, talk to the counselor and go through this program as a journey together. It just, this program, it said that 50% of our, while we are awake, 50% of the times we have, 60,000 thoughts running at, in a day. And all these 50% of these, 60,000 thoughts are generally negative thoughts. So this program does nothing but helps us fine tune our thoughts, because at the end, these thoughts transpire into our actions, and these actions transpire into our behavior. So this is, how the program will look like. It will be 30 minutes of self-learning plus 20 minutes of coaching. And at the end of this program, you will also be given a certificate, a resilience certificate after completion of the program. So the session has what is stress, controlling your body, controlling your thoughts, controlling your actions, controlling panicky feelings, getting a good night's sleep, boost your well-being, controlling your future. So it's very, very well received amongst different people. So once, you be partner, you can, of course, go through it. And it's seen that people who have taken these sessions have shown 70% improvement in anxiety scale and 57% improvement in depression scale, even without any clinical intervention. And this is how the certificate looks like. So after the completion of the session, you will receive the certificate. Now I spoke about mindfulness, how, it's a technique to help you focus on the present. Mindfulness has its own benefits. There are a lot of byproducts of mindfulness. So health, well-being, cognitive skills, self-regulation of emotions, interpersonal skills, leadership, team development, a lot of these can be achieved through practicing mindfulness. It has its deep roots into meditation, but it's only now that people have, started making this into a lifestyle choice. So we will, give you access to our mindfulness app. This will have different guided mindfulness tracks, different unguided mindfulness tracks, and 7 days, 10 days, 21 days program that you can log into, and you can practice mindfulness. So once you start practicing mindfulness, you'll get to see its own benefits, and you'll get to see how it will definitely make a positive impact in your mental health. And we'll also have different coaching sessions. You can also talk to a counselor as to how to practice mindfulness. We have trained mindfulness practitioners within the team. They will also guide you in terms of any questions that you will have. So this is how the app looks like. This is the portal that you will get access to. This is how the portal will look like. So the first part being, talk to an experienced therapist. You can just, click here, and you will be able to, reach out to a counselor. You can either directly call, or you can book an appointment through this portal. Then the next bit is the stress control online, which is the online cognitive behavioral therapy. The third panel is the mindfulness panel. It will have details of the mindfulness program. And the fourth is self-help resources. It will have details of, different blogs, assessments, and all of those. This is how the phone app will look like once you download the EVAP app. That's how the web portal looks like, and this is how the phone app will look like. You can use it again to make that call, or to book appointments with our counselors. So yeah, everything that you share during the sessions, or everything, any details that is shared will remain confidential, except that if there is a if there is a threat of harm to self, or if there is a threat of harm to anyone else, only then confidentiality will be breached. Otherwise, everything remains confidential, and nothing will be shared back with the organization or with anybody outside. So this is, again, I'm mentioning, a very confidential and emotionally safe space that your organization is creating for you, because they care for you. So it's important that you, make the most of it. So that's all from my end. You guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me, or any thoughts, any comments, please feel free to ask me. Yeah, or you can also drop me an email anytime. I'll put in my email ID here. I'm not sure if I can. I'll just put in my email ID. I don't think I can type in. Yeah, but if you have any questions here, please do, ask me here. Not sure if you can see my email ID. Okay, I think, I'm sorry, someone had asked me the meaning of cognitive. Cognitive meaning is our, ability to think, learn, solve maths. The fact that, we understand direction, we don't, every single day we don't have to, we know our way back home. So those are all cognitive abilities, those mental abilities that help us to do different things in terms of studying, in terms of doing work, in terms of solving problems. Those are cognitive abilities. Am I audible? Is there anyone who has any questions? Rai or Disha, would any one of you like to continue? Okay. Mindfulness is, like I said, it just helps you, you know, with, it helps you, it is a technique that helps you to focus on the present. Could you please share the app name again? So your HR will be able to, share the app and all the details. We'll be sending across all the details. So it will come from Disha or Rai, and they'll be sharing with you. How one would know whether he/she needs counseling is any self-assessment technique. So that's the thing, right? So there is, we don't want to, there are assessments that's available. You will also have assessments, with as a part of the program. But the entire idea is not to wait for an assessment to judge and tell you, hey, you need counseling. You know, there are so many things, we discussed about so many triggers. There are so many things that we go through. There are days when we wake up thinking that it's, I'm just not feeling motivated, or there are times when we are just juggling between work and personal life, and it gets overwhelming for us. So these are triggers that we experience for ourselves. So it's important that we decide for ourselves when it is time to take that counseling session. So we of course have assessments, but don't wait for assessments to tell you whether you're stressed or not. Try being open to your own emotions, to your own thoughts. Try reflecting so that you understand for yourself as to whether it's important or whether it's required for you to take up a counseling session or not.
You're waiting for questions. Do we have
Yes.
an option to take questions here? Verbal questions? I don't know how this platform works. Can people
So people
speak?
are typing in. People are
Okay.
typing in. So yeah, the triggers may be short term. Certainly, the triggers may be short term. So that doesn't really, it always doesn't have to be long term triggers. That something that you've been going on for 1 month or 2 months. Only then you talk to a counselor. It can be short term triggers also. But if you see that those triggers are repetitive in nature, or something that you might have experienced in the previous month and is coming back in the next month again, then that it's important. Or if you realize that, see, mental health issues, even though we don't really pay much heed to it, but it will not be something that will just go away if it's not addressed. So somewhere at the back of your mind, it could be just one very major fight that you might have had with your husband, which has affected you, which is very normal, but it will still stay at the, somewhere in your mind. So if you feel that, that is still bothering you, it's important that you go and talk to a counselor. So, and that's just one example. It could be anything. Those, like we were talking about work-life balance. If that is something that you feel has been ongoing, or every once in a while you feel that I'm just not being motivated to do so much work at home as well as work for office, and it is tiring, it is bothering me, it's important that you talk to a counselor. I have dropped in my email ID as well. If there are any other questions, you all can, just type in. And after we, partner, I'm sure you'll have more of these sessions to actually understand these concepts. And of course, there'll be the counselor's number that will be available. You can directly talk to the counselors. I'm sure a lot of your doubts will be clarified there as well. And you'll understand the, concept as well. Is there, so there are no, sorry, I missed sharing this. So this will be covered by the company once we partner. So there'll be no financial charges applied. So it will be free of cost for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good, Pallavi. Thank you so much. I think you have taken more than an hour, probably because of the questions, and that is also encouraging. One big, I mean, quick takeaway from you is that see, I would rather take it this way. Your mind is like your kid or your child. So
Yes.
when you think that is there anything which is wrong with the child, you don't hold it for long. You don't wait till that time. देखते हैं, चले जाओ. ऐसा कुछ, we don't take it easy. We suddenly take the person, the child to the best possible doctor, irrespective of whether we have a problem or not. If the doctor says, hey, you have no problem, we are very happy to come back. There's no problem. So similarly, when you have something which is, when you're not clear whether I have a problem to discuss or not, I would rather suggest discuss with a counselor. He or she will basically tell you there is no problem. So happily come back. So with that, I am so happy that we have good participation. Something like 400, 800 across the board. Thank you so much. Please make use of this facility. These are things which normally does not happen in places like CDAC. So unless and until we take advantage of this and get on and use this, we won't be able to get similar such things or the same thing ongoing for longer time. Down the line, if we come to understand that not many people are actually using this and this is a redundant facility, then we will have a problem. So best is to use this for two reasons. One is that you don't have to hunt for somebody. Somebody is readily available to you. Just like if you don't have Googles, you don't have many questions. It's only because you have Google that you are Googling small things which you otherwise could have ignored. So therefore, even if it is small things, rope in into ping with a counselor, use the app well, and get answers, solutions. If there are no problems, no problem. That is the best. Thank you very much. Is there anything else we need to do, Disha or Pallavi, at this point of time, or can we happily close? Okay. I think it looks like we can happily close. Thank you so much. You can detach yourself from the webinar, and this thing, the program stands ended. Thank you very much. Bye, and all the best to all of you.